Hey trackies, welcome back to another video. Please remember to smash that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. That's how the video gets to the YouTube algorithm. Share the video if you care. I hope y'all care, so share and sound off in the comments section below. All right, so trackies, I have some breaking news for you all. Lausanne, the men's 100 meters, that epic clash that is about to go down on the 20th. Guess what? We have one of the top athletes that are no longer on the start list. Yes, I'm looking at the start list right now, and there is no Kishane Thompson on the start list. So initially, we had this mega clash between Noah Lyles, Oblique Seville, and of course Kishane Thompson. And as things stand right now, we are not seeing Kishane Thompson on the start list. So who is on the start list right now is Akeem Blake, Brandon Hicklin, Zarnell Hughes, Courtney Lindsay, Noah Lyles, Timothy, and Oblique Seville, and of course, Akani Simbine. Now, trackies, of course, this one is quite interesting and quite intriguing as far as I'm concerned. Now, I know some of y'all are going to say that, hey, Kishane is dodging the smoke from a actual Noah Lyles, because y'all know Noah Lyles came out and said, hey, by next week, he's going to be, 9-8 low, and, all of this hoorah when it comes to him. Y'all know him. He talks a good game, trackies. You have to actually go out and run it. I don't see him at, 9-8 low next week. Maybe probably like a mid/high 9-8 in this men's 100-meter finals, right? But definitely not 9-8 low. But that being said, trackies, it's very, very intriguing. But hear my thought process. You all know I've been touting Oblique Seville versus Kishane Thompson all year, right? All year I've been talking about Kishane versus Oblique. I've been saying to Kishane, the man to look out for is not Noah Lyles, not any other American, not anybody from any other country. It's your fellow countryman, Oblique Seville. And what we have realized in recent times is that Oblique Seville has put his racing together, right? It didn't happen at the national championships, right? But we saw in London where he took down a Noah Lyles running 9.86 seconds. Looked faster than that, have to say, right? But he was in spanking shape from gun to tape. All phases of his race, as far as I'm concerned, were absolutely perfect, right? No. When you match that up against a Kishane Thompson that has reloaded from an MVP perspective, now you start to question in your brain, because this is literally has been my thought process. I've been trying to weigh in my brain right now if a loaded Kishane, based on what I'm witnessing from Oblique, will still take down an Oblique Seville. Now, don't get me wrong. When we're talking about Kishane at his best, Kishane offloads, Kishane peaked, raw speed. Yes, he's not the best, technically when it comes to executing his 100 meters, but that raw speed is raw speed at the end of the day, and he's a 9.75 athlete so far this season. So when we talk about raw speed and his capabilities, of course, when we talk about him challenging an Oblique Seville, well, he's never lost to Oblique, that's first. When we talk about it, trackies, we know that he's capable of taking down an Oblique Seville on any given day. However, so now, trackies, what I've been trying to work through in my mind is we have an Oblique Seville that is also on load. Remember, our Jamaicans, their national championships ended over a month ago, right? And that was enough time for the athletes to go back and load. So when you saw Oblique Seville running that 9.86 seconds, flawless as he was, that was Oblique Seville still on load. So now you have to start weighing in your mind, but hold up. We have a raw Kishane Thompson that's on load, dropping a 9.87, right? Just, a few days ago to take down a Noah Lyles. And then you have a Oblique Seville that was also on load, but quite a bit back, right, in London, running 9.86, flawless. Technical, right, to win, defeating again the same Noah Lyles. Noah Lyles was second in both races. So now, trackies, it makes things very, very interesting, because you're going, common sense will tell you that Oblique Seville is favorite heading into this men's 100 meters, providing, again, he's continued, to progress. And as I said, even on load, athletes will, show those incremental improvements, right, until they show their absolute peak, which is coming in my opinion, at the World Championships. Oblique Seville is perfect technically. The only problem Oblique Seville has, in my opinion, is that from time to time he slows down and looks over. For what reason, I don't even know. He needs to make sure that he forgets that when he heads to the World Championships this time around in 2025. Now, to be fair, he has been working on it, which is great. I'm watching him running through the line. Lovely. So he just needs to make sure he mirrors that. But the fact remains is that with an Oblique Seville that looks as deadly as he does, the question now becomes is, what type of risk does MVP want to take? Now, I've talked about men versus women, right? And I've talked about it, especially when you're a favorite heading into a major championships. You do not want to suffer any kind of loss. You understand what I'm saying? So, as far as I'm concerned, heading into the World Championships, Kishane Thompson is going in as absolute favorite, right? 9.75. No one has come close. Well, then again, there's Kenny Bennett 9.79, but we know how that go, right? So, as far as I'm concerned, no one has come close, and yeah, he goes in as heavy favorite. It will be a heavy blow. I don't care what anybody wants to say. If he heads to this particular race in Lausanne and loses to Oblique Seville, and on the flip side, it will be a major boost for Oblique Seville because, mind you, as I said, he has never defeated Kishane Thompson. So, as I said, no. What type of risk does MVP want to take? And as far as I'm concerned, Track, is they played the correct card in this situation. Pull out. This has absolutely nothing to do with Noah Lyles. It definitely, in my mind, is Jamaica versus Jamaica, Oblique Seville versus Kishane, and these two going head to head for gold at the World Championships. At this particular point, MVP doesn't want to show Oblique Seville / Racers Track Club any kind of signs where, hold up, we can take advantage of Kishane in this particular area and beat him. We don't want to show them that. That's not the thought process in my mind, at least from an MVP perspective. So it's best to pull out of this one, right, and wait until the actual World Championships finals. And yeah, that's where, well, then again, we don't know what's going to happen in the rounds, if they'll meet at any particular point, maybe like a semi-final, right? But as things stand right now, let's not let these athletes clash until the finals for the World Championships. At that particular point, you have to run your best race. The other athlete has to run their best race, and let the best man win. That is literally my thought process when it comes to the 100 meters. So yeah, as things stand right now, Track, is it would be hard, to pick a winner between Oblique Seville and Kishane Thompson. And I don't think, as I said, that is a risk that MVP wants to take, at least right now. So I think it's a right decision for sure for them to, pull him out of the men's 100 meter clash. Now, I don't care what some of y'all want to say, because some of y'all are going to look at this and go, Kishane dodging smoke, yada, yada, yada. Look here. This, for me, is a smart, absolutely smart play, because if y'all see what Oblique Seville is doing, y'all will know how dangerous that young man is. And you can't, if you are his opponent, give him any kind of edge over you, because as far as I'm concerned, that would be it by the time you get to the World Championship. So things are shaping up nicely. Things are getting even more exciting. As I said, Jamaica versus Jamaica. Never doubt T. I've been talking about this all year, and it has come down to Jamaica versus Jamaica at the end of the day, and I'm absolutely here for it. I can't wait to see what these two men deliver at their absolute best. Both athletes off, load and ready to fly. I'm expecting Oblique Seville to go into realms that he's never been into before, and I'm expecting Kishane Thompson to do the same as well. And honestly, Track, is may the best man win at the end of the day. That's all I have to say. But yeah, for now, Kishane pulls out of Lausanne. What are your thoughts? Let me know. Of course, like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.